Welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am 𝗕𝗂𝗄𝗏. So glad you are joining me for a continual connection. Just you and me, two men going through this journey of life, a little bit older. Focus on our fitness first. I want to help you build that muscle, lose that body fat. I want you to be effective and efficient with your willpower, focus, energy, and time. I know you've got a busy life. You have a lot of priorities that may be different than when you were younger, or maybe some of the younger guys in your gym or on the internet. You know, how can you create a system, a way of thinking and doing that complements your life and still get it done? And that is the unique perspective I bring to you, doing it that way as a 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder who lived it and breathed it, did it, everything in excess. Hey, well, it worked for me, right? I did all those things. Well, I'm 18 years removed. I live a life that you're living now, probably a life that, well, I was traveling around the world worrying about my big muscles and my abs and doing bodybuilding contests. You were all responsible. You're right. You did the real man stuff. Well, that's what I'm doing now. And so I don't have time for all that excess, but I want to look great. Here I am. I'll be 60 years old here in a couple months. And it just takes me a fraction of the energy. I know what's important, what's not, and that's what I want to share with you. And that is what Workouts for Older Men is all about. Jose, hello, hello, hello. Jose is watching on YouTube at 𝗕𝗂𝗄𝗏. I'm also doing this live on my Facebook page at 𝗕𝗂𝗄𝗏 page, and also at Workouts for Older Men, right? So if you're on TikTok or on Instagram, I post the replay version there for you, but I want you to post your questions down below and say hello, right? Even though you're not catching it live, maybe you can come over here. I do it about this time pretty much every night. It really depends on when my kids have games, and even those times I'll do it a little bit earlier, right? So make sure your notifications are set on YouTube and Facebook. I think I'm going to even start going live. I have the ability to do 3 different places at one time. So even on LinkedIn, right, I'll be going live. So come join me. Come join me just to say hello. We can talk about fitness, working out, eating, all right, the strategies, the systems to make it more convenient for you, efficient use of your willpower, focus, energy, and time. We can talk about that, or you can ask me anything. We're all going through this journey of life together. We look at the world differently when we're a little bit older, and we can talk guy stuff. This could be a unique place for you to visit. Victor on Facebook, good to have you guys here. Let me know where you're from. Tell me what you're loving about all the information that I post. What do you want more of? What's confusing? I want to use this time maybe to share my thoughts, give you more clarity, more certainty moving forward. Robert, hello, hello, hello. Great to have you here, Robert, over on Facebook. See, I really believe in this. And when men come to me for one-on-one coaching, all right, and you can look at the description of this video, and you can see how you can contact me. Call me, text me. We'll talk about it first, right? What's this coaching all about? Well, there are many ways to get from point A to point B. Is your weakness nutrition, like a lot of men, and you're just confused, overwhelmed? How do you make it work for you? Or is it training? You need a new training routine. You feel that is what you need to go to the next level, whatever it is, right? Time management. You need to get motivated. You need to push. You need accountability, whatever it is. There are many different ways to get there. And what makes the art in coaching, and what I pride myself on, is I step into your world and your understanding and your level of experience. It's not some cookie cutter, just I'm not giving a monologue or a speech. We're talking back and forth on a continual basis as I push you through the process. What you can expect is a process to be simplified. All right. So you have a way of eating and working out that is sustainable. So when you get on it, isn't like you have some big set aside all this time and energy and go into this Superman mode and then get in shape. And then somehow you got to keep that up or you lose it all. No, there's a way to do this that's sustainable. You have to know what you're doing, right? And that's what I'll help you do. All right. I really do believe, and you tell me if this is true of you, that most men will do the work inside or outside of the gym. If you had 3 things, if you were clear on 3 things, one is you knew exactly what to do. Just tell me the routine. What I have to do, tell me how to eat. Doesn't matter if it's hard. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to do the tough things I want to change so badly. But you knew exactly what to do was number one. Number two, you had the certainty that it would pay off, not you hope that would pay off. I always say that in life, we got to be at least 87% certain that our hard work, our sacrifice, our putting aside more pleasurable things, and doing the tough stuff, we got to be at least 87% certain it's going to be paying off. And again, I'm just throwing that number out, right? But, sometimes we're going to be more confident in that, and that's a great place to be. Sometimes we aren't quite as confident, but we still keep on going because you're not going to be 100% certain. I don't care what kind of awesome coach I am. It doesn't matter how well I explain it, how much I sell you on it. You're not going to be 100% certain that it's going to all work out, that it's worth your time, that even when you build a muscle and lose the body fat, that's going to bring you all the happiness and fulfillment, the sense of confidence, control, whatever it is you think, even the health, right? You have to be, you're not going to be 100% certain, but you got to hover at 87% or higher. If it dips below that and for too long, just messes with your head. You can be doing everything right, but is this going to work, right? So again, number one, you have to know exactly what to do, right? Number two, you got to be certain that your hard work's going to be pay off, right? And number three, your expectations of how soon this is going to work. How does it work? Do I lose this much weight? Do I gain this much? How much muscle? How much body fat? And in what time period? Should I be losing more weight? Should I be gaining more muscle? What's it supposed to look like in the mirror at this time in grade in the process? If you don't know what to expect, you could be doing everything right and just abandon or switch from one training routine to the other or one diet from the other because you just don't know what to expect. And how would you, besides you wanting it and you wanting it fast and you're willing to do the work, how do you know? How do you really know how this really works? Especially when you do it in a sustainable manner, not some crash diet that maybe you've done in the past or somebody else did and they lost 20 pounds in a month or whatever it is. How should it work? What are your expectations when you do it in a sustainable manner so you have it for the rest of your life? Your expectations are so important. Most guys are just clueless how this works, right? So you have to know exactly what to do. You have to be certain that your hard work's going to be paid off, and you got to know what to expect and when. Your expectations have to be in line, how it really works for your body, especially when you do it in a sustainable manner so you have it for the rest of your life. That's what I do for you. In addition to that, when you're done with me, when we're done coaching, you'll know how this all works. You'll be like me. So when I'm watching all the fitness experts talking about training, nutrition, and your heads are spinning and it's confused. See, I hear all that stuff, and it's 95% the same to me because I know the organizing principles. I know what they're saying, and I can all say, that's a little bit different, but how much is that really moving the scale? Maybe true, but it's not important, right? You can do it, you can like it, get a little bump, but it's a little bump. It's not the game changer, right? I see all these workouts and diets, 95% the same. They tell you, and you may think that they're all 95% different. Where do I begin? That's not empowering, and that's not even true. That needs to be reframed in your mind. That's what you'll understand. All these videos that you watch are so confusing. Anytime you watch a video in the future, you'll go, oh, I get it. But that takes time for me to explain, to look behind the curtain, to understand the nuance. So for the rest of your life, after you go through a journey with me, it's not going to be a matter of what to do. It's just a matter of you doing it. Is this going to pay off? How badly do I want to push aside maybe some other things? How much do I want to adopt this fit and healthy lifestyle, right? What is to me? But once to know what to do, you know what to do. And now that's a sense of control. And that's what you can expect, out of my coaching. Of course, I can give you a training routine. How hard is that? It's not hard for me, right? Especially when I explain why it works. Or a diet. That's a lot easier than you may think, right? But knowing why that works, that's important for your journey. So it's not filled with so much uncertainty. I say I give you the fish and the fishing pole. You get the fish, you get the training routine and the diet. Again, that's the easy part. But you know why it works. So you can move forward, again, with the expectations line, that sense of confidence. So that's what my coaching is all about. Again, go into this description of this video, look at all that, reach out to me. We'll talk about it, see if it's a good fit. All right, so let's go back here. John, I'm struggling with energy in the gym. Uh, I wasn't like that when I was younger. Is there something I can take or do to get more energy? Well, let me ask you this question. And again, John, if you don't know the answer, you just got to say, I don't know the answer. All right. You can't say, well, I don't do that, but, or, I heard I don't have to do that and I didn't do that before. No, it's a simple question, right? Do you know how many calories that you're eating in a day? Yes or no? Calories or energy? You want to put a good effort in the gym, especially when it's after a stressful, long day. Well, how do you get energy? What do you take? You take good nutritional habits. You make sure you eat enough food, not limited. Because, you could be eating so little food, so little energy, but it feels like it's the right amount. And you would never know, right? You want to have more energy. The first thing you should look at is how much food you're eating. It's that important. And I know I don't, get the young fitness studs and they say, I don't count my calories. Yeah, I don't need. And so you go, hey, well, he doesn't. You don't train like him. You don't have his knowledge. You don't move around. You're not as young. Oh, but you're going to pick that. Oh, he doesn't count his calories. Well, I'm not going to do anything else that he does because I can't do that with my lifestyle, but I'm not going to count my calories like him. Right. So I'm curious, John. Carlos from Canada, your thoughts on high volume training versus low volume for older men? Well, high, low, what does that even mean? Right. Some guys like to train in the gym for, 2 hours a session, 6-7 days a week. Is that what you mean by volume? And they're moving around with 30 seconds in between and they're filling that up with all these sets and reps. Is that high volume, or for you, would that be super high volume? Right. Words have no meaning. People have meaning. There's no value unless it's compared to something else. That would definitely be high volume. Now, what's low volume? Right. To some people, well, low volume, I can just do a full body workout 3 days a week for half an hour. That's really low volume. Right. Okay. Or is it 45 minutes knowing what you're doing? Right. It's not about the volume. Right. Look at it this way, Carlos, right? You want the result. You're going to build muscle and lose body fat. What do you have to do? How much time do you have to do it? Right? If you have less time, then you got to be more efficient with what you do. What does it take to build muscle? Overload. You got to challenge yourself. If you got more time, just do more volume. You don't have to lift as much weight and just draw it out. It's like sprinting. You hear about intensity, but running's like intensity, right? If I said, hey, you want to win the race? Go run. Run, go, Carlos, run, right? And that, how fast are you going to run? What if you just run? I go, Carlos, I said run. Well, yeah, and you might have a low, more volume goal in mind, like a middle distance race or a marathon. So you're running to pace yourself to make it all 26.2 miles. I said, whoa. No, you're only running 100 meters. You got to run harder than that. That's not intense. Oh, okay. Well, I was running like a marathon runner because I thought I was going to run 26.2 miles. Well, no, you're going to run 100. See, that's the difference. Intensity makes it, right? So if it's a lower volume, what makes it work is the intensity, more weight, really knowing what you're doing. Or you can just do more time. Cardio would be another example, right? What's better? High intensity interval training cardio for 20 minutes or 45 minutes at a moderate pace? Well, they both can work, right? But which one are you going to choose? And then do you know how to execute that? So, they both can work, as far as, there's a couple things. That's what I talked about. There seems to think that, well, if I do low volume, I got to lift heavier weights. Heavier weights, I'm an old man, I'm going to get hurt. If you get hurt with heavy weight, then it's not heavy weight. It's too heavy for you, right? Because some other guy may be 20 pounds lighter. He just may be stronger, and that's not heavy to him, right? It's always going to be heavy if you do this right for overload. Whether you have higher volume or lower volume, all right? it's got to be heavy when you put it down. All right. So if you think heavy weight is necessarily going to hurt you, no, too heavy weight is, right? But it's always going to be heavy at the end. And don't think that heavy weight people, from my experience in the gym, most men don't, whether they're young or old or something in between, they don't get hurt on the heavy weight, right? Because really, when you're in that heavy weight, you're in this fight or flight mode, you're really paying more attention. Most injuries, it's like warming up, are moderate, something they're taken for granted. And a lot of times when you have this higher volume, it's just like, it's like a middle distance rate. You think you're training intensely, but you got to get through a 2-hour workout. All those sets, all those exercises, all those reps, it's easy to take your eye off the ball. And, it's my belief that most of the injuries are when you're not quite paying attention, and it's not when you're challenging, or you get an unlucky break, not because of heavy weight, right? So that's number one. But you got to understand, lower volume means you got to train heavier, but more volume, it's just going to be heavier. You just did 15 reps. It's going to be heavy at the end. It's just that you did, 6 sets of that exercise instead of 2, right? So it's heavy and you got all this volume, right? You don't think that's just because it's lighter, which is not lighter. The dumbbell's lighter, but it's heavy at the end. And you did 15 reps as opposed to 68. And then you did all those sets and all those exercises. You don't think that's causing wear and tear on the joints, right? It's just too simplistic to think that heavy weight is going to hurt you. Too heavy weight will hurt you, right? But doing weight where you're really challenging yourself and all that volume, that's wear and tear. It's just with a 20-pound dumbbell instead of a less volume with a 40-pound dumbbell. What impact is that making, right? And again, for an older man. Jerry, hello. Jerry, North Dakota, 65 years old. Awesome. Great to have you here, sir, or on Facebook. Let's see here. Good questions, guys. I love the energy. Jason, hello. Hope you're doing well, sir. So Jose asks, I was curious about your take on creatine for beginners. Creatine is probably the most effective supplement, probably the safest, right? It's been proven. It came on the market, I don't know, like 1994, and it's been steady. Creatine monohydrate, and it's simpler for some people want to put additions to it, to build off the name, and where we're special, we have this special type of creatine, but very simple creatine monohydrate. What it does, it volumizes the muscle. The muscles, are fluid. It's just, if you go on a no carb, low carb diet, right? You burn off all your calories. There's no glycogen in the muscles. Your muscles aren't full like grapes, plump grapes. They get, lose volume like dried out raisins, let's say. And so all creatine does, it volumizes the muscle, more strength, if you like, weight on the scale. More power. And then there's a lot of, start going off to anti-aging, and then it really goes off. But that's in its pure form. See, the thing, if you're a beginner, let's just say you have 20 pounds too much body fat, and you don't understand what I just said, and then you weigh 10 pounds more on the scale because your muscles are volumized, right? And you're thinking, oh, this is making me hold water. This is making me fat. And so it messes with your mind. Then a beginner should just get lean, and don't add one more element, to confuse you. Journey's tough enough. Even when you're doing everything right, just hang in there because you're certain, especially if you're doing it by yourself. It's tough enough, then add one element of creatine. And you'll see that all over the internet. Guys, they're fat. Even when they think they're lean, they got 20 pounds of fat on them. They just don't know it. Then they take creatine. They are on some 1,200 calorie diet, and then now they're volumized, and then they feel fat and sluggish, and they blame it on the creatine where it's just fat. So it's a great supplement to take for size, and strength. That's not real muscle tissue that you have when you get that bump up in weight. The strength is real when you feel that, but with creatine. So you got to know what it is and what it isn't. But if you understand what it is and what it isn't, all right, and it doesn't mess with your head, why not take it even as a beginner? But again, you got to know what's happening to your body, what isn't happening to your body. So if you don't look the way you want, you don't blame it on the creatine. Again, you don't want one more factor confusing you. Hello, 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 Chad. Great to have you here, sir. Victor, I want to build more biceps. My age is 48. I tried to build more biceps. Well, what have you done? Understood. You're welcome, Jose. All right. You know, I've got an arm training video where I don't just have an arm training workout, but I kind of explain all of it. And it's been watched like over a couple million times since I put it out. A lot of guys like that. You can see that on my 𝗕𝗢𝗄𝗏.com page, how to build big arms when you're older. All right, so check that out. All right, but I kind of go through it really, but it's the same principles: overload, mind-muscle connection, being consistent. Right. Also, you know, and I say this is that a lot of times you can have, you know, big biceps, but you know, if you have too much body fat, like 20% or more, they're kind of washed out with your body fat. If you were just to get leaner and you get to separation, you see the ridges and the separation of the bicep, tricep, and 𝗕𝗢𝗆𝗆. You know, they give this illusion of this massive size, right? Where you can have size and it's not shown. So there's a lot to it. You want to definitely watch that video, right? About how to build bigger arms when you're older. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Hey, click that link in my bio. If you're over on TikTok, watch me there. Click that link in my bio. It'll take you over to my 𝗕𝗢𝗄𝗏.com page. I've got a whole bunch of introductory videos. Go to 𝗕𝗢𝗄𝗏.com often. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, reach out to me. We'll talk about it, see if it's a good fit for you. So let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.